Good afternoon. I'm Colette Horton with Fulshear Professionals, and welcome to the Master Panel Insurance Session. We have our panel today with Erica Jong with Aflac and with Kim Stacy with Fulshear Insurance. I'm going to go over and let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about them. Kim, we're going to start with you.
Hi, I'm Kim Stacy. My husband and I own Fulshear Insurance located in downtown Fulshear. We opened our office here about 9 years ago. We're the first insurance agency to call Fulshear home, and we are an independent insurance. So we work with different carriers, multiple carriers, to be able to bring you the best options for your insurance at the lowest price.
Okay, and Erica?
My name is Erica DeYoung, and I live in Fulshear, and I am with Aflac, and we are a largest supplemental insurance provider. And I'm doing not only virtual enrollments, but also we're starting back into some in-person enrollments for essential businesses.
Okay, Erica, explain to us what that means, what supplemental insurance is. What does that mean?
So supplemental insurance is an insurance that kind of comes in either to fill a gap between the deductibles that you have, or to also be something that you can use in place of a major medical plan. The difference between supplemental and a major medical is that major medical pays the doctors and pays the hospital and pays the clinic, whereas what Aflac does is we pay the policyholder. So in the event of needing to go to the hospital or having cancer or things like that, while your insurance would pay the doctors and would pay the clinics and the hospitals, what Aflac does is we pay you at that time. So it can either bridge the gap with your deductibles, because you've got deductibles, you've got copays, 80/20, you've got a whole gamut of things that you're probably going to be paying if you have major medical. And while those things are happening, Aflac is paying you. So you can either use that to help bridge the gap between those two costs, or you can also use it to pay your mortgage, pay your car, pay anything else that you need to take, that you need to be handling.
Okay. And Kim, earlier you were talking about the fact that you're an independent agency, but can you explain the difference to us in how an independent agency works compared to someone like a farmer's agent or an Allstate agent? Because people don't really get the difference in that.
So we work with different carriers. Some of our carriers would include Travelers, Safeco, the Hartford, Occidental, Allied Trust. There's just a whole plethora of carriers that we offer. And we also offer commercial insurance and personal insurance. So your commercial is going to be general liability, commercial auto, and then on personal lines, it'll be home, auto, flood, umbrella, RV, motorcycle. So we work with different carriers so that, when you have your insurance policy, and a lot of times you'll see the rates go up and you'll go out and go shop with other carriers, and you have to build a new relationship with that agent and kind of start all over. And we help you be able to maintain the relationship you have with us. You're able to maintain that and not have to go build new relationships all the time, every year when you go shopping, because we do that shopping for you. And you just call us when you have a problem. You call us if you have questions about your billing or, concerned about your rates being too high. And we can go out and look at the other carriers and let you know what those rates are in comparison. And you can, even if we move you to another carrier, it's with your approval. We don't just go out and arbitrarily do it on our own, but with your approval, then you still have us as your agent. So there's a benefit to that you're not having to go out and learn somebody new. And when you call us, we don't ask for your policy number because we know who you are. And I have people all the time that are amazed when they call and tell me their name is Joe Smith. And I'm like, oh, hey, Joe, how's your wife Jane doing? And et cetera. And he's like, you know me. Of course we know you. So, that's kind of what sets us apart from some of the, what would be called a captive carrier, or even some of the other independent agencies.
Ooh, captive. Nobody wants to be held captive.
I know, right?
Oh, Erica, there are other programs out there that we've seen that are supplemental insurance carriers. And like we were just talking about with Kim, what sets Aflac apart other than the duck? We all know the duck and y'all have great commercials, but other than the duck, what makes Aflac a better supplemental insurance company? Why should we choose that one?
Well, there's actually probably several answers to that. The first one is Aflac has, when it says 1 day pay, Aflac has done a lot to make sure that that 1 day pay holds firm. So if you had, let's just say you go to the doctor and you are diagnosed with cancer, you're going to have a diagnosis, an initial diagnosis amount that's attached to that policy. If you've had it for several years, it's likely grown by $500 a year. But initially speaking, it was either $4,000 or $6,000. And so when that diagnosis happens, that money becomes super important because of the state of mind that you're in and what you're going through. And so that money is deposited within 24 to 48 hours. And we take that really seriously, which I think is a real big look into the character of the company. So if your pathology is faxed into or sent into Aflac, and it hits them before 3 o'clock Eastern time, everyone in that department has to stay until that is paid and it's automatically deposited in their account, or until that check is written and mailed. If it comes in after 3, then it will go into your account the next day. And so that is really important. It's one of the founding pieces of Aflac right now. It's what we're really known for, and that's called that 1 day pay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, we do not, and it's something that people have to be careful of, we do not tax what you are receiving. So if you receive, you have a cancer event and it lasts for a year, you are likely going to receive quite a bit of money during that time based on the policy that you purchased. You will not be 1099'd at the end of the year for that. There are companies out there that will do that, and so you just have to be careful. Aflac has been around for 65 years. The duck has been around for 20. When you purchase any kind of insurance, the one thing you want to make sure of is that when you're going to need them, that they're going to be there, that they're not going to find 25 reasons why they may not be, why they might not pay you. You want to make sure that the company you're with is aligned with not only regular pay, just paying you, but quickly paying you. So we do kind of all of our due diligence at the beginning of your policy, not at the end. And we ask those questions at the beginning. So we're just very unique in that way. We also, especially right now, this has been a very interesting time just to see how Aflac performs in stressful situations. And it's been extremely eye-opening as to how solid the company is. They've been on Bloomberg just in the last week, and the president of the company has been talking and sitting in on some really big conversations. But there's just, Aflac is a very different, there's a reason why they're the #1 in the marketplace, and by a long stretch to #2. So you just want to make sure that, when you purchase insurance, that they're going to be there to pay it when you need it.
Kim, I'm going to throw that back to you. You can't turn on the television without some commercial coming on and telling us 5 minutes, go online, take a minute, go to this app. Somebody's going to give us a cheaper rate. It seems like with all of the companies out there, in 5 minutes, we can get our insurance policy to $1 if we shop enough places. Why should we come and see an agent, a local agent, rather than going on one of these companies, one of these websites, apps, whatever?
You're right about that. So one reason to call us or to come see us is because we do not sacrifice your coverage to give you a cheaper rate. So we understand that it's very important that your coverage is, what's the word I'm looking for? Sufficient to help you, because in the event of a loss is the worst time to find out that you don't have enough to cover that loss. So, and it's similar with what Erica's talking about, you know, when people have health issues, that's the worst time to find out that, you know, you don't have the right coverage, or you should have bought the Aflac policy last month when it was offered at your place of employment instead of putting it off till next year. So with insurance, because we protect your coverage, but then we go out and we search for those good rates, for the best rates for you. And there's so many different factors that go into play with the rates. So it could be, for auto insurance, they look at your claims history. They also look at how long you've been with one company. So if you shop and hop from one company to another every 6 months, then typically you're not going to get the best rates. They're not going to offer you the best rates because they know you're only here for a short amount of time. So why give you their best rates? And so your longevity with a company, your tenure with that company, your claims history, your credit score, all of that's taken into consideration as to what type of risk you are to be able to come up with your premium. And everybody's different. That's the reason what I pay for insurance is not what you pay for insurance.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, Erica, during COVID-19, how has it changed what Aflac is doing?
Well, so one major thing, I think, number one is, with the clients that we already have, we're the first out there to do this, but even before there was an insurance conversation on how long the grace period should be, before there was the standard answer, Aflac went out there and said, you know what, we're gonna go past 60 days and offer a grace period to anyone that is either had to stop their business because of COVID-19. Let's say you're a hairdresser, which I actually did have a hairdresser that their whole company signed up right a week before they were needing to leave. And we're still honoring that policy, all of those policies, that whole salon. They haven't even made their first payment yet. And all of those people, their policies went live April 1st. And so those policies started, if somebody gets into an accident before that time, even though the Aflac has allowed that grace to extend into June, they're still paying those claims. So we're going out, you know, it's kind of like going out a little bit on a limb. I mean, you are paying the claims before somebody's even paid for their policy. And then we've extended the grace to extend into several months. And as a company, Aflac does understand that, you know, somebody's not going to come back to work and then just obviously have 2 months worth of premiums ready to be paid because they haven't been working. So there will be a gradual reentry for those companies that just were not able to do that. You know, they don't want anybody to lose their policy. And the things that they've told us is, you know, don't cancel anyone's policy because that leaves them at a big disadvantage as a holder. For us, the one thing we don't want is for someone to cancel their policy because they couldn't make the payment because they were a part of this this situation. So even though they're a part of this situation, we're still making those claims. We're still paying out on those claims that are coming in. So that's one thing. I think it's also kind of you can look for a little more research into pandemics and things like that will be included in the policies. It's made us more aware, I think, as it has every insurance company, on what, you know, portable hospitals are and how that fits into a plan where it may not have been part of the the language before. So I think it's important to know that not only are they managing what they have, but they're looking at what they have and trying to figure out, okay, how can we make it better for the next one? So I think you can look forward to things like that coming.
Okay. Kim, how has COVID changed what your insurance carriers are doing? Has it changed anything, or is it having an impact?
It is. So first off, we have a lot of our carriers that will be returning a percentage of premium at the end of April and at the end of May. And they will be returning it back to the method of how the people pay for their insurance. So we will see that coming probably the first week of May and the first week of June is when you'll see those refunds occurring. We do have some, or most of the carriers have eased their restrictions on their cancellations. So if, even prior to this happening, if you had not made a particular payment, you were in danger of your policy canceling for whatever reason, most of the carriers have put that on hold. Or we've made a call and requested that they put it on hold due to the pandemic. Or we've been able to reinstate policies that were accidentally canceled because, people's main concern right now, a lot of people that we're talking to is buying bread, buying eggs, not making their car payment. So, and it's kind of like what Erica said, that will be coming, but we do have to call and request it. They're not just going to automatically, in most cases, not automatically stop deducting it out of your checking account. But if we need to stop doing that and put it on hold, then there is a process that we go through with the carrier to request that.
Okay. Can you explain why they are returning premiums?
So people are driving less, which means there's actually been fewer accidents on the road, fewer claims being filed. And so with that savings, then they are turning around and they are having to get approval from the state. So they do have to go through Texas Department of Insurance. But then that's what's allowing them to be able to return that premium.
Okay, I'm just curious. Is someone making them do that, or are they just doing that out of the kindness of their little hearts?
They're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, honestly.
Wow. Okay. I'm
Nobody
along with everybody else watching
do
this video.
it.
I think we're shocked. Yeah.
There are some carriers who are not doing it, but most of our carriers are.
Okay. I'd like to know who started that trend. Okay, Erica, do you find that more people are interested in Aflac right now?
I think the conversation is different today than it was before the pandemic. I think a lot of people take their health and they kind of go, oh, okay, I've been this lucky this long, it's going to continue, or I'm young and I really don't need to worry about that. That's for somebody who's older. I think there's an element of being bulletproof, and I think that this pandemic has probably made us all feel a bit more vulnerable. I mean, we're walking around in masks and gloves, so the vulnerability is there. Everyone knows that they're not less or more susceptible than the person next to them, and so I think that it becomes more relevant that there is more of an opportunity to have something happen than maybe you believed before this. And so for that reason, people, I think, are paying a little more attention to, okay, what is exactly a short-term disability? When I say to somebody, how long can you go without a paycheck? It becomes a little more real now because more people have lost their jobs, or they're furloughed, and they got sick and they're not able to come to work. It used to be that when someone came to work with a fever, it was no big deal. Now you come to work with a fever and that's not acceptable at all. So something that may have taken you 2 days to get over and you just sweat through the rest of it, it's not something that you're going to do now. So it's possible you will be out for longer, and how long can you be out without having something to replace some of that income? So some of the conversations I have now with especially short-term disability even if they can't afford all of their you know, what they make, because it's based on what you make, or what you reported and, you know, what your tax return looks like. Most of my conversation has been, you know, how much do you need for your mortgage? Take a look at it that way. So at least if something happens, you have your mortgage covered, and then, you know, it takes one big thing off of your mind. And then the policies themselves, I've had more people ask, okay, so if I had COVID, which one of these policies would be the one that I would use? And that's definitely the hospital policy. But the thing that I think is interesting in all of this is that now we have children that are on a bike more, on a skateboard more. There's the probability of accidents around your house goes up. The stress leads to cardiac events. And so there are other things that that this goes into.
Okay. Kim, we had someone type in a question and ask if rates have been affected, just our regular insurance rates, have they been affected by COVID?
Some of the carriers have decreased their rates. We have seen that. Some have reminded us that there are opportunities to save money when you sign up for their what is it called? The electronic programs where you plug the little thing in your car and it reports like how well you're driving, if you're doing sudden stops or whatever. So it's telematics. So, you know, signing up for the telematics program offered by a particular carrier does offer some immediate savings, and then depending on the information that's returned to the insurance carrier via the transmission of that information, then it could even equate to additional savings down the road. So, so yes, so we are seeing some savings, you know, with the rates, and then with the different things that you can do, take advantage of the opportunities. And then it's also a good time to look at other carriers and, you know, shop, especially if you haven't shopped in a long time. It's a great time to shop your coverage and your rates and see if there's something better out there.
So what if we plug one of those into the car and then it doesn't move? Does that count?
Well, and that is in the fine print. I know one of our carriers came out yesterday and said, reminder, please let all of your insureds who are taking advantage of this program right now know that we really do need to have about 6 miles a day. So, you know, if you go to the store or if you drive to the gas station, or, you know, then out here you are getting about at least 6 miles on your vehicle that day.
Okay, that's very good to know.
That was a great question.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can get one of those. What if the car just sits? Okay, and Erica, how has your business, or the way your business, you're conducting business, how has it changed in the last 2 months?
Well, I think like most people, we're doing a lot more of this type of what we're doing right here, virtual enrollments, virtual conversations, virtual meetings. And, you know, we're asking a lot more. You know, most of the call has to do with, can you hear me? I'm sorry, the dog just barked. You know, it's kind of brought some humor into all of this. Nobody is really immune to those kind of things happening. And so it's brought a little bit of lightheartedness. I think people are a little more real, and that's kind of good in a lot of ways. But I think everyone is open to being flexible and working around each other's schedules, knowing that everyone is doing their best in a makeshift office. Or you know, we're trying to get around systems that we had in place a few weeks ago, and then we're moving to. So I think everybody in general has been just very patient. But I did today go and do an enrollment, which is the first time I've done one at somebody's office. But for the most part, it's virtual, but I think that will change here shortly. People with essential businesses, we can go to essential businesses. We become essential when we're doing business with someone essential. But without that, then we need to be at home at this time.
Okay. And Kim, same question for you. How has your business changed?
It hasn't changed a whole lot. We're still working in our office. We are an essential business, but we are still working here. We're all related. So whether we were at home or whether we're in our office, we're still around the same people. Fortunately, at the office, we're able to social distance a little better, and we're not all, scrambling and fighting over the kitchen table. So the office has been a better environment for us. And we pretty much do everything via email, fax, telephone. So all of that is still continuing. We don't have as many people coming into the office as we usually do, but that's okay. We are prepared if they do come in. So as the FedEx guy drops off a package or somebody does come to see us, we're constantly wiping down our office and keeping it, disinfected, using the Clorox wipes on the door handles on the inside and the outside. We all have hand sanitizer bottles at our desk. So looks like a vodka bottle, but
I was gonna say, that looks like you have vodka.
hand sanitizer. So we all have one at our desk, and we just want people who do come to our office to feel comfortable and let us know ahead of time. We are very accommodating to make them be comfortable, at their level. But like I said, we are disinfecting continuously. We are practicing social distancing. So.
Okay. Well, we are about to wrap up, so I want you ladies to let people know how to contact you. So Erica, we're going to start with you.
So my phone number for Aflac, and my name is Erica Jong. My phone number is 832-409-9749, and my email is Erica, ERICKA_DeJong, and that's DEJONG. At us.aflac.com. So that is how you can reach me.
Okay, and Miss Kim.
And Kim, Stacy. So with Fulshear Insurance, our office number is 281-533-9067. And you can also find us on the web at fulshearinsurance.com. And you can request a quote online on our website.
Okay, and so we have lots of these master panels. If you want to go to fulshearprofessionals.com and check out all of our other master panel sessions, you can find them at fulshearprofessionals.com. You can also find them on our Facebook page. So I'm Colette Horton, the leader of the Fulshear Professionals, signing out. And remember, wash your hands and say your prayers, because Jesus and germs are everywhere. Y'all have a great day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.